Later that night, we make it back to the room. The villa hums with an intimate stillness, the kind that feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for what comes next. Vanessa steps into the shower first, leaving the faintest trace of her perfume in the air. And even though she's in the next room, the weight of her presence presses against me like she's already here, her energy wrapping itself around me. The sound of water stops and my pulse quickens. When she steps out of the bathroom, her damp curls cling to her shoulders, her silk robe brushing her thighs. She's glowing, her honey-colored skin luminous under the soft light. Her eyes meet mine, and for a moment, everything stops. "You're up," she says softly, her voice carrying a vulnerability that slices through me. "Absolutely," I replied. I then took her by the hand, and we headed for the balcony. The moonlight spills over her, highlighting every curve as she leans back in her chair, a tray of fruit and wine at her side. "You look comfortable," I said while pouring 2 glasses of Alamos. She looked up at me with a smile that was equal parts innocence and seduction. "It's hard not to be. This place feels so unreal," she said with a grin. I hand her a glass, our fingers brushing as I do. The spark that follows is immediate, a jolt of electricity that sets every nerve in my body on fire. She sips the wine slowly, her eyes lingering on mine. She picks up a strawberry, bringing it to her lips. A drop of juice slips down, catching at the corner of her mouth. "You missed the spot." Leaning in before she could respond, my thumb brushes her lips, catching a drop. Her breath flinches, and I see it, the hesitation giving way to something deeper, something undeniable. I lean in, my lips brushing hers, soft at first, testing the waters. When she responds, opening herself to me, the kiss deepens. It's no longer tentative, but filled with raw, pent-up need. My hand touches her face, pulling her closely as her fingers grab my dreads. "Do you trust me, V?" "Yes, I trust you, Dom." Without another word, I lift her into my arms. She gasps softly, her legs wrapping around my waist as if she's meant to fit there. I carry her inside, laying her gently on the bed. The moonlight follows us, spilling over her body as her robe falls open, revealing her bare skin. I trail kisses along her neck, her collarbone, my hands mapping every curve, every inch of her body. Her breaths come faster, her moans soft but growing louder with every touch. "Don't look away," I command, my lips softly brushing her ear. Her eyes widened, locking onto mine, and I say, "Do you understand?" "Yes," she whispers. "Yes, what?" I reply. "Yes, sir," she moans, breathing heavily. And I again command, "Say you understand." My tone leaving no room for hesitation. "I understand." Her voice breaking, but steady enough to send a thrill through me. "Good girl," I reply, capturing her lips again. My hand slides lower, teasing her until her body responds, her hips rising to meet my touch. I slip a finger inside her, then another, slow and deliberate, drawing a gasp from her lips. Her body trembles beneath me, every sound, every movement pushing me closer to the edge. I curl my finger, finding the spot that makes her cry out. Her eyes stay locked onto mine, wide and filled with a mix of pleasure and vulnerability that takes my breath away. "Don't look away," I instruct. "Yes, sir," she whispers, her voice breaking into a moan as her climax builds. Her body tightens, her nails clawing at my shoulders as she lets go. Her cries filling the room. Tears spill down her cheeks as she shatters beneath me, her gaze never faltering, even as she falls apart. Dom, I feel like I'm losing myself. Her voice trembling, tears streaming. I press my foreheads to her, replying, then let me find you. Pulling her into my arms as she collapses against me. She lets out a soft, shaky breath, her body melting into mine. The night stretches on, and for the first time it feels like the world has shrunk down to just the two of us. Nothing else matters but this moment, this connection, this fire that refuses to burn out. For the rest of the night, I bridge the gap between climax after climax until she falls asleep in my arms. When I wake, the sun is already spilling across the room, its golden rays stretching over the bed. I turn expecting to find Vanessa still wrapped in the warmth of the night we shared. But the space beside me is empty, the sheets cold, her scent faint but lingering. My chest tightens as I sit up, scanning the room for any sign of her. My gaze falls on the balcony, and I step outside to catch the morning breeze as it brushes against my skin. That's when I see it. A single piece of paper resting on the table, weighed down by an empty glass. I pick it up, my hands trembling as I unfold the note. Her handwriting is soft and deliberate, each word cutting deeper than the last. It read, "Last night was magical, a moment I'll carry with me forever. But if I stayed any longer, I'd lose myself in this dream and never want to leave. Reality is calling me back, even though saying goodbye to you feels impossible. Dom, please understand." The words hit me like a wave, pulling me under as I stared at them, rereading them again and again, as if doing so might summon her back. The villa feels emptier than ever, the silence pressing in on all sides. I walk to the edge of the balcony, the ocean stretching endlessly before me, mirroring the ache in my chest. I clutch the note tightly, my mind a storm of conflicting emotions. Maybe this is the end, I say softly to the wind, my voice barely audible. Or maybe it's just the beginning.